faith, firearms, and freedom. This is Armed Lutheran Radio.
Hey folks, welcome to Armed Lutheran Radio, a show about guns, hunting, competitive shooting, the natural right of self-defense, and what God's Word says about the issues surrounding gun rights and gun ownership. I'm your host, Lloyd Bailey, the Armed Lutheran. Need to turn on the recording light so everybody knows that I am recording. Sorry, little break there. Thank you for joining us. This is episode number 366. I'm your host, Lloyd Bailey, the Armed Lutheran, and this is our Reformation Gun Club online hangout for June 2023. We skipped May because I've been sick. Had to reschedule this month. It was supposed to be last week. Where a storm took off a chunk of my roof last Friday, a couple of hours before the hangout was supposed to happen. So here we are. We're a month and a week late, roughly, but here we are. Folks, if you would like to be a part of this in future, if you would like to come and join us for these online hangouts, visit armedlutheran.us/gun club. Sign up for a gun club membership today. They start as little as $15.17 a year. You get all sorts of cool swag and access to our cool members-only content on the website and invitations to hangouts like this. So check it out, armedlutheran.us/gun club. And come join us for next month's hangout. All right, let's see who we have in here. And we've got the usual crew joining us, I think. There's William. And Scott is joining us again this week. And William is mobile, as we can see. And let's see what we got here. David is back with us again. There's Mike. David is back. There's David. And Steve Clifford is joining us for the first time. All right. As we get Steve there he is. Welcome, guys. How is everybody?
Thank you.
Hello.
Doing well.
Howdy.
Don't crash, William.
We're good.
He's got the camera down where he doesn't have to look at us, so that's good. He's keeping his eye on the road. Very safe. All right. Well, welcome, guys. It's good to have you with us. Steve, good to finally get you in here with us.
Thank you.
For the first time. And so what we'll do is we'll start off with you. Quick intro, introduce yourself to the group, and then and tell us what you're drinking tonight.
Okay. Well, thank you for having me. I am Steve Clifford. I just joined this because Scott Van Dorsten actually suggested it. Scott and I have taken a couple of training classes together with scout rifles. And this weekend, I'm actually in a hotel because I took my scout rifle to a long range match where we're shooting at out to 1,200 yards.
Nice.
So that's a lot of fun to do with the scout rifle. And tonight I am drinking a Woodford Reserve.
Nice. Very good.
So,
all right. Well, welcome. Glad to have you with us.
Thank you.
David, you're up next. How are you, sir?
Doing well. How are you?
I am good. I am much better than I was last time you guys saw me.
Good.
Yeah, I apologize for not putting together not being able to do the May hangout, but you guys are all better off not having to listen to me cough at you all for the entire hour.
Quick question for you.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of programming do you do?
I work on a Microsoft ERP called Business Central.
Okay.
Used to be Microsoft Dynamics NAV, and before that it was Navision when it was owned by this company in Denmark, and then of course Microsoft.
Oh, I knew Navision.
Yep, Navision Attain before that. And so I've started when that was still in its infancy at, I think it was version like 2.6 was the first version I got my hands on, which is god awful now. Back then I thought it was really cool, but today with all the advances that Microsoft has made, if you have to go back and program any of the old customers, it's just like, oh my gosh, what are you people doing? Upgrade, for crying out loud.
Yep.
But yeah, I've been doing that for 15, 16 years. So
Oracle 30 years, Postgres 7.
very cool. So what are you drinking tonight?
Just water.
Just water. Okay. Taking care of the voice.
Yeah. Finished a Glock match last weekend.
Nice.
Had an 88, which is under my desired score of 100, and had a 115, which is over my desired score of 100.
Okay, it averages out.
Yeah, pretty close. Going to do sporting clays tomorrow.
Ooh.
With some buddies.
See, I have got to get back out to the range. I've got to do more shooting. I'm hardly the armed Lutheran anymore, except for the fact that I own guns and carry them. I have not actually been to the range or to a match in yonks. So
we'll be shooting my father's 1954 vintage Remington 48
nice
12 gauge.
Very cool. I've always wanted to try sporting clays, but
it's a blast.
Never actually gotten out there to do it.
It's a blast. Pardon the pun.
I have the shotgun. Well, I don't know whether it'll work. It's a 20 gauge. It was my late father-in-law's, or stepfather, Remington Wingmaster, I think. So never actually gotten it out to shoot it. So maybe that would be a good place to try it out. It looks like it'd be a ton of fun.
I think the Wingmaster a variation of the 870.
Yeah, I think so. It's got the similar wooden furniture. It's just got a humongously long barrel.
Yep.
So,
but indestructible.
Indestructible.
Almost.
Oh, yeah. Remington doesn't make them like that anymore. Scott, how are you, sir?
I'm doing well.
Life with the new place looks awesome.
Well, thank you. Yeah, the shop is going well. I've been bringing in enough business to keep the doors open, so we're off to a good start.
Furniture?
What's that?
You still doing furniture?
Haven't started the furniture. It's the gunsmithing.
Yeah.
So the gunsmithing is keeping you super busy. That's good. Awesome.
Yep. So, and also today I found out that my cancer levels are down to 0.
Well,
I had a follow-up today, and there is no measurable trace of any cancer cells in my blood anymore.
Praise the Lord and pass the ammunition.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
So, and today I'm drinking Highland Park Viking Tribe.
Highland Park Viking Tribe. That sounds...
Is that an Akavit?
What's that?
Is that an Akavit?
No, it's Highland Park.
I'm not familiar with Highland Park then.
Yeah, they're a whiskey company from one of the islands. This particular one was a UK exclusive release that my beloved niece was kind enough to bring back to me when she was over there studying abroad in Scotland.
Nice. So I should cross that off my list because I will never find that in my...
Yeah, you'll never find it.
Store. Okay.
Highland Park.
Oh, well.
Highland Park, they have several different ones that are available in the U.S. They are very nice.
I got excited when you said Highland Park because there's a suburb of Dallas named Highland Park. So I thought, oh, okay, cool.
No, this one's a Scotch.
Okay, next time I'm out there, I'm going to try to find it. Do you know where in Scotland it is? Just off the top of your head? I can Google it later, but
We don't want you Googling and driving.
no, later.
Orkney Island, Scotland.
Orkney. Okay.
Oh,
Kirkwell, Orkney Islands, Scotland.
that's an island we've not been to yet. All right.
So
That's something to look
this
forward
one, yeah, I guess that island's pretty far up north, towards the Scandinavian countries, and that's, most of their population can trace their heritage back to the Vikings.
Okay.
Yeah, I hear Scandinavian, and I keep thinking akavit, like what the Finns and the Norway and the Swedes drink, which is
Yeah.
more akin to a vodka with like anise and caraway and a few things like that. And you typically drink it very cold, like out of the freezer cold.
Wow. Okay. All right. Mike, how are you, sir?
Doing good.
What have you been up to since last we were together? And what are you drinking tonight?
Redneck Riviera.
It's blurring out because of your background. Hold it right in front of you. Yeah, it's not going to work. Okay.
Oh, that's Rich from Big and Rich's.
Yes, John
whiskey,
Rich's.
isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
It
John
is.
Rich.
Yes, inexpensive but good. So,
All right.
I guess I have to jump on the ERP train too. So I've got JD Edwards of 16 years.
Oh, we're all veterans of the ERP wars. What have you been up to since last we saw you?
Oh, nothing really. Just trying to stay low key. And I did, out of interest, I was wearing one of your shirts, the beer drinking shirt. Was in a restaurant tonight. Had somebody want to take a picture of the back of it.
Nice.
Nice. Awesome.
So
Very good.
I don't know if they knew who Martin Luther was, but I guess they just like the saying.
Well, maybe they'll get them into doing a little research.
Yeah.
The Lord works in mysterious ways.
That is true.
That reminds me, Lloyd, I got a funny story I got to tell you once everybody's done introducing themselves.
All right. All right, William, where are you headed? What are you up to?
Well, my wife and kids are actually in Quebec right now in Canada, and on Independence Day I fly out to Niagara where I'll meet up with them, and then from there we're going to go to Pennsylvania for a family reunion, and then from there my wife and boys fly to Germany. My daughter, who's 10, we're putting on a plane by herself to go to California to meet up with her grandparents, and I fly back here to Bentonville. So we're kind of all over right now. For the moment, I'm driving back to my in-laws' place because our house has other people in it right now, renting it as an Airbnb.
Right.
So when we go traveling, we treat that as an opportunity to purge stuff that we don't need. We clean up really well. We put our house on Airbnb, and then we either leave town, or if we haven't left yet, we'll go to my in-laws' place and crash there for a couple nights.
Nice. Okay. So, what have you been up to since? Are your wife and kids having any trouble with all the smoke from the wildfires?
No,
We are.
haven't had any issues with that. My son, one son got a bite on his knee that looked an awful lot like a brown recluse bite. And so they're treating and watching that. But it seems like it's going away. I mean, this happened yesterday. So that day wrestling, fell over and bumped his head on some piece of furniture, and so he's got a big old egg on his head. Other than that, though, they haven't had any major issues. Not with the smoke, not with anything.
Just spiders and bumping their heads.
And furniture.
He's driving through a dead spot. And now we're getting like every fifth frame. Okay. So I can guarantee he's not drinking anything.
Hope so.
But I'm actually by the car. Oh dear.
I have no idea what he said. I was finishing off the very last of the peanut butter whiskey, but I thought I would crack open a Father's Day gift from my son, a little Sherman Bock from 903 Brewers up in Sherman, Texas, where he lives. So let's see how this is. It says it is a German style Bock. He said it was like Shiner. No, it is not.
I tell you, I was down in Texas a few weeks ago and discovered you guys have one of the most incredible whiskeys I've ever tried in my life.
Ooh, which one?
TX, Texas Blended Whiskey. It's not horribly expensive. It is weirdly sweet without being syrupy. As smooth as I've ever had a whiskey. It is unbelievable. It's also really hard to find in Virginia. It can be done, but yeah, you guys have a gem down there.
Nice. I'm like 10 miles away from Western Sun Distillery, which is over in Pilot Point. And I'm a fan of their vodkas, but I have not tried TX whiskey yet. Trying to make my Texas Ranger I've tried, which is pretty good. I've been working my way through some locals, but I haven't gotten to TX whiskey yet.
It is worth finding, believe me.
Just do that tomorrow while I'm out. A good recommendation. And if you ever need one, let me know and I'll hook you up.
Oh, I will.
All right. Well, cheers, everybody. Great to be together again.
Cheers.
Very bubbly. That does not taste like Shiner. I don't know what he was talking about. I don't know what that tastes like. It's beer, but it's not Shiner. Maybe I had my taste buds all expecting Shiner Bock, and that was just, I should have gone in with no expectations. Oh, man. Okay. Who had a story for us? That was Scott, right? All right.
Yep.
So it looks
So
like
it was funny.
Will has gotten to wherever his destination is. So that's good.
And I just got to say that Will has to get some sun on those legs.
He was part.
I've got what on my legs?
You've got to get some sun on those legs.
Oh yeah. I have been described as luminescent,
Yes.
and it's not inaccurate.
Luminescent. I love it.
Leave it to Scott to notice that.
They did lean over into the camera a couple of times, so I decided.
It's funny. Series of events. I in my shop, I had a guy who come through town who was a truck driver, who has been following me on the Scout Rifle forums and pages for some time now. And since he was a truck driver, he's delivering some trailers to Sheridan. So he decided to stop by the shop. And in my shop, I have what I call the honor board. And I have patches from different military units of friends and family and stuff like that. And I had added the Armed Lutheran radio patch to it. And when he was in the shop, he was looking at that and he's like, "What's this Armed Lutheran radio?" And I'm like, "Well," and I told him, it's like, "Well, it's a radio podcast, so Lutherans and pro gun and shooting and everything it says there on the patch pretty much." And he goes, and he said, "What's and he's like, "Well, what kind of Lutheran?" It's like, "Well, it's welcome to anybody, but we're mostly LCMS." And he says, "Well, I'm an LCMS Lutheran," and it just like it was funny because it just how everything just kind of wrapped around together in the conversation, of what we're all sharing common.
Very cool.
So hopefully he's tuning in now.
Bird Dog salted caramel flavored whiskey. Ooh, that does sound delightful.
Oh, I was afraid that was a bird dog flavored whiskey.
I'll take my first sip of this tonight. I would discover it in the last month or so. My very favorite sweetened whiskey, which was called it was Jeremiah Weed sarsaparilla flavor, and it was amazing. It tasted like root beer, and it wasn't so over the top that it would knock your face off. You could, of course, dilute it if it was too sweet for you, but it was really delightful. And they stopped making it. And I've called a half dozen places around, and they were like, "Oh, we can't get it." And I finally went to one. They're like, "Oh yeah, they stopped making that. You can't get it anymore." And I was like, dang it! My favorite one.
Of course. Well, I'm not going to put it on the list yet because if it sucks, I'm not going to buy. I want to make sure.
I will try this here in a moment, but then I'm also going to be doing something a little darker. Nice little vanilla porter.
That is the classic patch. That is the very first patch, by the way, that I ever had made. And I had some ideas for like logos and stuff, and I wanted something to put on the hat to take to IDPA matches. And an artist came up with that idea, and I was like, I don't know. That kind of looks like a rifle reticle. Okay, I get what he's going for there. And so I stuck with that. And I have a handful of those left, and I was like, I want to send those out.
I was wondering what it meant.
It was intended to, I sent this guy and I gave him just an idea what I wanted to do. I wanted something related to guns. I wanted it to be a circular design with the Lutheran seal, the Luther seal with the rose and the cross in the middle. And he came back with that. And I was like, and the colors, I wanted the colors to match the original color scheme on the website. This was back in the blogging days. So that is a classic design. That is before the two 1911s and the Luther rose. That is a classic design.
Well, I have to show you.
I got the rectangular one with the Luther rose and the two 1911s.
Yep. So it doesn't even say Armed Lutheran on it, but I was like, okay, that's intriguing enough that it will get people to ask questions, because it kind of looks like a rifle reticle, and it's colorful enough that it will catch people's attention without being like cheesy rainbow colors or something stupid. And I stuck with it. So, but once the podcast fired up in 2016, I went with I had another artist come. I was like, all right, here's what I want. See what you can do with it. And he came up with the two 1911s, and that's stuck ever since.
So I carry around a lot of I schlepp the ammo for my wife at competitions, thereby.
Nice.
Very cool. I like it. Stupid. Yeah, I have that too. In addition to all the other thousands of things I'm allergic to. I chose the worst state in the union to move to where allergies.
Oh, it's pretty bad here in Northwest Arkansas.
Oh, I imagine. I got here and I met my doctor, and she said, first time I was just checking in, meeting the new doc, and she was like, well, if you any issues that you need to tell me about? And I thought for a second, I was like, allergies, just seasonal allergies. And she said, you moved to the wrong place. We got cedar fever around here. And if you're allergic to cedar, which I am, when it hits, it can actually mimic the flu with aches and pains and fever, actual fever. It's insane.
That sounds an awful lot like what happened here. We first moved to town in the middle of that ice storm 2.5 years ago. And it was just, slippery, sleety, just snow and ice everywhere. And then the first blooms of the season, the whole household got sick, and we thought we'd come down with something. And it come to find out after about a week's worth of misery, it was just gnarly allergies. And we were ill prepared for it.
Yep. So I get to
Well,
deal
I
with it
tried to
year
share
round.
a picture of the honor board, but apparently JPEG files are restricted by the admin.
What?
That's what it says.
Crazy admin.
I don't have to talk to that guy.
And I have
What a-
give him a piece of my mind.
Really?
I'll try it again.
The
Yeah, it says transfer
nerve
of
of some
PGN files is restricted by your account admin.
weird. Okay. I don't even know where to find that. All right, security, maybe. No, that's like kicking people out. I don't want that. Stay away from that. I will accidentally yeet somebody right out of the meeting. Okay, I'll have to figure that one out. Email it to me.
Now I'll send it to you on Facebook real quick.
That will work too. Assuming I can log into Facebook while I'm doing this. All right. Where is my Facebook? Facebook. All right. So how is it, Will?
There you go. Just sent it.
Well, it's not as good as I'd hoped, and it's certainly not as good as that sarsaparilla whiskey. I will probably get it again, but
Doesn't have enough bird dog in it.
no, not enough bird, not enough dog. Barely got enough whiskey.
Oh, that's even worse.
No, it's good. It's just I think I've just been spoiled by the one that I just fell in love with, and my wife likes it a lot, and so we would get it. Anytime we would share it with friends, I'd usually leave them the rest of the bottle and let them take it with because it was just that good. But yeah, haven't found a good replacement for it yet.
All right.
Yeah, just get you some Drambuie.
I'm not familiar with what that is, but
You're not
sounds
familiar with
interesting.
Drambuie?
Nope.
Wow, it's an English whiskey. It's an English flavored whiskey. It's very, very honey and cinnamon.
So the English taste of honey and cinnamon.
No,
Pretty much.
It tastes like English people or English teachers, maybe.
Sweaty
It's a
and
pretty
porter.
cool honor board there, Scott. That looks
I like
really
that.
good.
Thank you. Yeah, every one of those is a friend or a family that served.
Nice.
Very good.
Very nice.
Hit. What is that? That's
Which one?
the one right below or right to the or I don't know what direction you're looking. It's to the left of the Armed Lutheran patch. The we
Okay, that I'm not positive. That was in a box of my grandfather's World War II things. So the three above it are his patches. Those are his wings. 8th Army Air Corps, Army Air Corps. And then that is a unit patch for something I don't know. I think it might be an English unit, but it was in with his stuff
Interesting.
because it does not match any of the units that he flew in.
And it's got that's a old ship on it, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, with a fleur-de-lis
Sounds very French.
or Canadian, maybe.
The writing is English.
Interesting. Something Canadian, maybe. Maybe it's one of those French Canadian things.
I don't know how many Canadian air units there were. There were barely any.
With an old sailing ship on it. I don't know what. Maybe. Maybe he ran into somebody over across the pond
Yeah.
and swapped patches or something. Interesting. That is pretty cool.
That's cool.
I like it. All right. I don't have anything cool like that to share. That's pretty cool. Oh, what just happened? Close that. All right. I did have, speaking of having people notice the logo, I did have the very first Armed Lutheran shooting jersey we made, I did have somebody walk up just because they saw the patch or that seal on the shoulder, and he came up, and which was the whole point of having the jerseys in the first place, but had somebody who was an LCMS Lutheran that I'd seen a million times at matches just sauntered over and introduced himself just because of the patch. So that's cool. What is all that? What's that all about? So my little effort at outreach.
So that patch on the bottom, it says, "We aim to hit."
Yeah. I don't.
So now, yeah, you're right. It's a little odd because it's got the fleur-de-lis, and he did fly out of the France a few times, but it wouldn't be in English if it was French.
Wonder what that could be. All right, now I'm curious. I'm going to have to do some Googling.
Can you do a Google search, an image search on it?
I don't know how to do a Google image search.
Oh, that's true. I could do that.
Is it just me, or are other people having some internet connectivity?
Just found it.
It's just you, Will.
11th Air Defense Artillery.
Okay.
I don't know what that means. Oh, it's on a military insignia website, but that's not the same. When I click on it and it takes me to the site, that is not the same patch. No, that's not it. 500. No, that's not it. I am going to complain. This is false advertising. That is not the patch I was expecting.
Every time I hear you say the patch, I think of Nicorette. Or that's the gum, whatever the nicotine patch is.
Right.
I'm like, when did we start talking about that?
We've gone way off in the weeds. I tried searching for that slogan. That didn't work.
Oh, this is our homework.
Yes.
That's right. Begin Googling now.
Yeah. And it's possible it was nothing that was official either, because, I mean, World War II, there are people doing all kinds of stuff.
That's true.
Very few unit insignias were official.
Yeah, I'm going to have to figure out how to do an image search, because just searching for the slogan doesn't help. Yeah. As you search for "we aim to hit" and you get some stuff that's definitely not military related.
Speaking of slogans, that one there reminds me of a sign I once saw on a bathroom wall at a urinal at a restaurant.
Oh, Lord.
And it said something like, "We aim to please. Would you aim to, please?"
You aim to, please, right? Yep. All right. Well, I'll have to save that for future Googling. It's a cool patch, though. I like the board, and long may it grow until you have to actually add another one.
Oh yeah.
All right. What are the plans for the furniture? Have you had to back burner that for now, or?
Yes, I've had to back burner that a little bit. I have a friend, a fellow in our congregation, who is on temporary medical leave from his job and bored out of his mind. So we did start doing some woodworking, but we're just making a couple of Adirondack type chairs,
okay,
and see if we can sell them, and then we'll put a little bit more money into it. What's that?
With places to hide guns in them?
No, just regular chairs right now. So
hang it.
But
hard to hide a gun in an Adirondack chair.
Yeah,
it'd have to be a really, really small gun.
Is that a gun in your Speedo, or are you just happy to see me?
Yeah.
That's definitely not where you want to hide it.
But it's definitely something I need to consider more seriously. It was always kind of like, well, if I slow down, I'll do that. But just telling a few people around town that I'm thinking about it, they're like really interested.
Yeah. And if
And
you
I
tell
actually
yourself,
had one guy contact me. He's like, hey, be careful with that. We had a cabinet company and we decided to make a few of those things for fun. And it took over our entire business.
Sounds like a good problem.
Will and guests.
Look, Rottweiler food.
This one's actually named Whiskey. My daughter, my 10-year-old, named it Whiskey.
A good choice.
My dogs are named after guns.
Oh, my brother's got a dog named Ruger.
Yeah, I got Remington and Mauser. Mauser's the shop dog. He's very popular at the shop.
Very cool. What David, have you had any concerts or been doing any preparation? What's coming up for you music wise?
Spring concert season is over. Right. I just recently built my Christmas program.
Okay.
So there is, however, one of the gals in the chorus is getting married July 22nd. So we're going to do a little pickup choir for her. Yeah, the summer is the sort of R&R time because it hits hot and heavy when September rolls around. The day after Labor Day starts season.
Could you please explain that to the choir director at my church? Because we are, for some reason, we have rehearsals and singing every single week where we never did before. So yeah, let her know. Thank you.
Well, the church choir that I'm in is also going on through the summer. I sing and do not direct that choir, but So church choirs are an unusual organization, and they take on challenges that even a professional choir would not. And that no professional choir sings 52 weeks a year, but many church choirs do. Even a professional chorus would not attempt that. But there, for the grace of God, we go, and it does. So. Lloyd, though, I've got 2 arrangements I need to be writing in the next few weeks.
Oh.
We're going to have a children's choir for one of our concerts at Christmas.
Nice.
So I have to arrange 2 pieces of music for them. So dust off some old skills and
small, simple words.
Cats.
Well, no, the first one is actually, I don't know if you're familiar with the Broadway show Scrooge. Leslie Bricusse did music for Scrooge, a thing called A Christmas Carol, and I'm going to integrate children into that. So I just need to arrange that for them. And so they'll be singing with the main choir. And then the finale, they'll be singing with the main choir. And we've got a sing-along, and they'll be singing with the entire congregation, the audience kind of thing. And they'll do 2 pieces by themselves. So the kids that get involved, which will be up to 5th grade level, will get exposed to 100-voice choir and being a part of something bigger than they are. So.
Well, why are you joining twice? Or are you piecing out on me and rejoining in a separate device here?
Trying to get off my phone.
Oh, I see. Okay. So if I join you in, will it break the space-time continuum to have 2 of you? Oh, no.
No, I do it all the time.
I don't think we should chance it.
There we go.
Much cleaner for me. Thank you.
We do it all the time. It gets a little weird, though, if you have 2 devices and they're showing 2 different views of you.
We can get a 3D thing going.
Yeah.
All angles.
Unfortunately, the audio rarely syncs up very well, so you do
No.
get a lot of echo.
I did have one other little thing I wanted to show you about the music. Lloyd,
Okay.
hang on.
All right. Well, his cheers. Oh, all right. Oh my God.
So at the end of the year banquet, the president of the chorus made a presentation and gave me this.
Nice.
You have your own bobblehead.
That's awesome.
You are now a man of legend.
Very cool.
That was the coolest thing.
That is really cool.
A bunch of crazy people. We have a good time.
Back in the day when we first got started and I was trying to think of interesting and crazy things to do for the show, I was actually was considering doing a Sergeant Bill bobblehead with a gun in one hand and a beer in the other, but never got very far past the drinking and thinking stage.
I'm still waiting for the tumblers in the liturgical colors.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Do it with an insert, so you just have one tumbler and you put the insert.
Well, I was pretty excited. Our church has put out a call for a new pastor. Our previous pastor had to medically retire, but the call committee selected a gentleman who came and visited the other day. And I noticed on his previous congregation's profile, he mentioned that he was a hunter, a shooter, and a reloader. I'm like, well, that's kind of cool. So I got to meet him and interacted with him a bit. So he said right now he's reloading 45-70 and 10 millimeter. And he mentioned that his latest gun is a 6.5 Creedmoor gas gun. And he referred to it as a gas gun, which not too many people do unless you're in the long-range shooting community. I was really excited about that. He hasn't accepted the call yet, but I'm really, really hoping he does, because he seems like a really genuine guy and a guy that I could get along with pretty well. So that's our exciting thing here.
Send him pictures or video from your long-range shooting endeavors.
Yeah. That is a tough process.
Yeah, it is a tough process, but yeah, by the way, I just made a new video today, Scott. I just posted it on
I saw it. I haven't had a chance to watch it yet.
Okay, good deal.
Yeah.
So
I just saw it when I was waiting for this to start.
Are you two same congregation, different congregations? How are you guys?
That's kind of funny. When I first met Steve at a shooting class down at the Whittington, he was looking for a congregation to go to, and we struck up a little short conversation. And after talking to him for a minute, it's like, you need to find an LCMS Lutheran church. It'll be perfect for you.
Well,
and he did.
What's funny is I didn't go out searching for an LCMS congregation. I was Episcopalian. I did a lot of things with the Episcopal Diocese of Virginia, but they closed down for COVID, completely closed down for over a year. And after about a month and a half, I decided that my family really needed something other than these virtual services. So we started looking in our area. The only church that had weekly communion and was open was the LCMS church. And so we started going there and really quickly found a home and ended up changing our membership and going through, switching over. Very, very happy. It is just a wonderful, wonderful congregation in Fredericksburg, Virginia.
You learned very quickly when I told him nobody does potlucks like Lutherans.
No, you're right.
Very true. Around here, it's pulled pork and brisket, as far as the eye can see.
Nothing wrong with that.
Mike, you've been very quiet, and I just interfered with a drink. Sorry.
He's not that sorry.
What's What's things like in Hiram? You're in Hiram, Georgia, right?
Actually, I need to send you a note and get that updated.
So I can stop saying Mike from Hiram, Georgia.
I am Mike from Decatur, Alabama.
Decatur. Okay.
Decatur.
I will update that.
It's not far from Hiram, Georgia.
No, it's about 3 hours, 3.5, 4 hours.
Not bad.
Decatur is 4 hours?
Well, you lose an hour or gain an hour.
Oh, so it's an artificial
But
extra.
you've heard the old joke, Mike, about Alabama going to Alabama? Is you set your clock back an hour and your calendar back 20 years?
No, the one that I heard is why do birds fly over Alabama upside down?
Why do birds fly over Alabama upside down?
There's nothing worth shitting on.
Oh, I wasn't expecting that.
Are you going to have to bleep that out?
You've got an edit button, right?
Oh no, that's got to stay in. That's too good.
So you have to be careful about the ones that just sit there quietly.
Yeah. We used to live in Alabama, so I make jokes about it.
Actually, I like living here quite a bit. It's been a very good move for us.
I met some really dear people there.
What made you decide to make the move?
Job change.
Job change.
Yeah, job change. And my grandkids live here, so
Nice.
that's really cool. They're 10 minutes up the road at the house every day, so that's good because have an influence in their life.
That's awesome. Very good.
So it's worked out great.
What have you done with guns lately? I have to live vicariously through you guys. I haven't been to the range in forever, like I said. So,
Well, the downside.
oh no.
So when I was in Georgia, I was heavily involved with IDPA, and within this area, there are really no IDPA groups. So I have not. I need to get back into it.
Where is Decatur related to? I've got.
It's near Huntsville.
I have friends in Alabama who shoot. Hey, Rob Laird.
Yeah, Birmingham's probably the next closest IDPA type area. But that doesn't mean that I can't get into what is it, USPSA?
USPSA.
Hey, there we go.
Hey, Rob.
Hey, Lloyd, what's going on?
How are you?
Nice. It's not quite settled, but we're in the new parsonage, as in like 1907 new. But hey, it's new to us.
All right. So we missed last month's hangout, so I don't know what's going on. Tell me, what is it? Fill us in here.
So I just finished my second week of Greek at Concordia Seminary here nearby in St. Louis, Missouri.
Right.
So I've still got the jack-lighted deer look going on there. And we're our new residence is here in Zion Lutheran Church Parsonage in Muscuda, Illinois. Yeah, so they apparently for the last 9 years or so, ever since their pastor upgraded to a larger house because they've got 6 kids, they've been using the parsonage to help out seminarian students that have large families and can't live on campus.
All right.
So yes, we're all here.
Large family. Small and all the animals.
Yeah.
Well,
Anyway,
glad you guys are settling in.
Yeah, we're figuring it out.
And all the fun of a house built in the early 20th century.
That's okay. I've only found one light switch that was energized. Like the frame and faceplate were energized. So
that'll wake
fixed
you up.
that before the 3-year-old got here, which is good.
Right.
Come on, it's called a learning experience.
Yes.
Oh, bright idea.
Yeah. When the mechanical engineer is fixing electrical stuff, you know things are desperate.
Exactly. Stuart, how are you?
I'm okay, Lloyd. What happened?
With what?
I never received the latest update until just a few minutes ago.
Did you not?
Well, that's okay.
That is weird.
Or are they
I
voting
was-
you off the island?
Yes, they were. I was working on my
There's an
Spanish.
island?
I've been
That
enjoying a cigar and a gin and tonic.
Nice.
For all that matters.
Very nice. I'm jealous. I think you were in the shout out in the last show, and I couldn't remember where you were in Florida because I still have you listed as Spanaway. But you're in
Pensacola.
Pensacola.
Yeah.
I got to update Mike, and I got to update Stuart. Looks like you're having a lovely evening there.
Yeah, I don't know. It cooled down. It's 84 now or something like that.
Nice.
Yeah.
We're in our 90 straight days of 100 degrees, so it's miserable outside.
I don't even think we got to 84 degrees today.
See, you've got the good end of the spectrum in summer, but you got the horrible end of the spectrum in winter. So
it keeps the riffraff out of Wyoming.
This is true. This is true.
But I lived there for 20 years.
See, it gets the riffraff out of Wyoming.
No, I didn't.
Set himself up for it.
When I moved, I wanted something warm and sunny and not windy.
And you
Well, I got the
in
not windy
Washington
part because I'm up in Sheridan and we got the bighorns blocking the wind.
Yeah, well, I was in the southern part in
Yeah.
Hannah. And
It's
Rollins
horrible
and
down
stuff.
there.
Oof. So
I didn't want to go back to that.
How did you end up in Spanaway?
My parents had moved to Bellingham, and because the air base was there
Right.
and the VA, that's how come I ended up in Spanaway.
Gotcha. Okay. So now you've finally gotten to warmer climes.
Yes.
Very festive and enjoying yourself, which is awesome.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I can't smoke inside. The owner of the house won't let me.
I have the same problem. So what have you been up to since last we were together? Aside from gin and tonics and tiki torches. And very festive
Trying to keep the
shirts.
bugs down. I don't know how good those tiki torches work for the mosquitoes.
No, but it provides ambiance. That's the important
Yeah. I'll be honest. That's all right. But the thermocell is good.
Okay. Very good.
I
What's
don't normal.
all right, you said gin and tonics.
Yeah, gin and tonic. And
What-
Rocky Patel cigar.
Ah, nice. Okay.
I got it from Cigar Bid.
All right. I forgot to ask Rob, what are you drinking? That looked tasty and interesting.
Michter's straight rye.
Oh, okay.
Oh, good.
Nice. So what have you two been up to? Rob, we'll start with you. Anything gun wise? Anything gun related since last we were together?
Just piling like the whole arsenal into my minivan and driving 500 miles. That's about all I've done with guns in the last couple months.
That's bad enough.
Yeah, the movers don't like to move that stuff, and I wouldn't want them to either.
No.
Especially since all my movers were Ukrainian.
Yeah.
I think every they all spoke Russian. So, every Russian in America these days claims they're from the Russian speaking part of the Ukraine.
Right. Naturally.
Yeah. And then they tried to extort us for $18,000. So, I got to meet the local lawyer real quick.
That sounds Russian.
Yeah, exactly. All the Russian mafia rejects are now working on and moving companies out of New Jersey.
Oh God.
Where did you move from? You said 500 miles?
Green Bay, Wisconsin to southern central Illinois near St. Louis.
Oh, good Lord. That's ridiculous. I moved 3,000 miles for $7,000 or thereabouts.
That would have been nice.
You didn't have the Russian mob running your moving company, though.
No.
Yeah.
I did the pods thing.
Oh, okay. That's cool.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna have to do something similar to that whenever I get my vicarage assignment and we figure out what other crazy move we're gonna make.
So you're going to the wrong. You're going to the wrong seminary.
They've taken care of us.
The Fort Wayne, St. Louis thing will never end. I never did count. I need to count how many of St. Louis guys I've got in the book versus Fort Wayne guys. I think it's heavily outnumbering on the Fort Wayne side.
Fort Wayne was nice, but the setup in St. Louis was better for the family. Although I have heard the old joke that if they play guitar at your church, then you probably graduated from St. Louis.
All right. You don't have to fall into that.
No, definitely not. I'm a big fan of pipe organs.
I mean, I know Norman Nagel's not alive anymore, but people like him kept him on the straight and narrow.
Now, here's the thing, though. I argue this with my pastor all the time. It's like if you look at some of the, a lot of the Psalms, it says set to string music.
There you go.
Very nice. But the problem is you can't really sing the string music very well. Sorry. It doesn't work. You need wind instruments. That's what the organ brings us. It's a wind instrument.
But the Bible says to string music.
Well, that's okay.
That's just because the pipe organ wouldn't fit in the tent.
Yeah.
It's too heavy to lug that thing around in the desert. Oh, goodness. What was I going to ask you? I know.
I got a couple of interesting guns in the other day.
Before you do that, hold that thought before I forget mine. Now I remembered what I was going to tell you about. When you guys were talking about moving and guns, I'll never forget when we moved into this house 10 years ago. We only moved like 5 miles. We were renting in another development across town. And I'm over here at the house dealing with the builder and the crap job that they've done with our backyard. And we have to move out that day and get moved in. And I get a call from my wife who says, "Oh, hey, the builders are here. What do you want me to do with the guns?" What she did with the guns was just to throw them all into a bag. It's like, no. Don't get them all out. I had long guns. I had old shotguns. I had all kinds of stuff. And she just threw them all into a bag, chucked them into the back seat of the car. I had no idea that the movers were coming that early. So I was over here trying to square everything away and get everything ready. And they showed up and were like, "We're moving now. We're not waiting for him to come back." So she just started chucking guns in the car. Dang it. She found out how many I've got. Okay.
Man, Lloyd, that reminds me of a good one. When I was deployed, my wife and family were all living in military housing in San Diego, but then we had another kid on the way, so we got upgraded to a larger house, but I wasn't around to help. So my wife got the Commodore's wife and the rest of the squadron CO wives to come over and help us move from one house to a larger house in military housing. And they got a great picture of like all these beautiful women carrying all my rifles from the house to the car. And like my boss's wife, like, "Hey." I think it was an AK, actually.
I jumped in the car as quick as I could, and I ran back to the other house. And my wife comes out the door with a rifle in each arm, and all the guns are in the back seat.
Perfect.
Great. Couldn't have planned this any better. All right, Scott, your story I so rudely interrupted.
Oh, no worries. It's kind of fun. It's I got 2 bag of guns in, and a bag of gun is when they come disassembled.
Okay. Right.
And the gentleman wants me to, well, he wants me to reassemble them, but he also inquired about fixing them. One was a Colt Thunder. The other one was a Colt Rainmaker, which is part of the Colt Lightning family. And if you're not familiar with the Colt Lightning family of guns, it was Colt's first attempt at double action revolvers.
Oh. How did that turn out? I don't remember.
They never worked.
Start to say that.
They never worked.
Well as the Colt American 2000 or whatever. Their first.
Yeah, it's they Colt couldn't make them work. So when he started to inquire about fixing them, I said, I can reassemble them. But if Colt couldn't make them work, neither can I.
Can't guarantee anything beyond that. Did you at least have a diagram of where everything was supposed to go? Or did you just have to figure it out for yourself?
Their design is extremely similar to the single action army as far as the placement of components. Is just some of the individual parts are designed different and wrong.
So critiquing Colt's attempt at a double action, what did they do wrong?
Basically the sear engagements are weak and thin. Oh. So that you start filing on things to get them to engage properly, and then you pull the trigger 3 or 4 times and they stop engaging properly.
Oh.
Just because Go ahead.
I was going to say, it sounds like a Democratic dream gun.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like I had a friend of mine who worked on one for 3 months, and the most he could get was 3 consecutive shots before it stopped working.
Oh. That's when you know it's time to trade that sucker in or sell it off. And
they are extremely collectible for people that like paperweights.
that don't shoot.
Yeah.
If you want a gun that you can leave out open in your home and not worry about anybody using it.
Yeah.
A great museum piece.
Right. Yes, exactly. Right. Put that under glass and just look at it.
Straight from the factory to the museum.
Like I said, a Democratic dream gun on the approved list.
But officially, they were the Colt 1877 models.
Oh, so this is old.
Yeah.
Double action.
Yeah.
Really old double action.
Yeah. Okay. This was around the same time as the Smith Schofields and stuff like that.
I got you. So there's a reason this gun isn't in Red Dead Redemption, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay. That is interesting. What I thought I would do tonight, we're not doing July giveaway extravaganza anymore, but I want to start giving away something to the fine folks who show up every month to these hangouts. So one of you fine folks is going to get a prize randomly selected from the vault. So pick a number. When I call on you, pick a number between 1 and 100. And whoever gets closest to what...
Is it a commemorative roof shingle? Because that would be cool.
Did I keep those? I think I still have a piece of one sitting in the front yard. I'll even autograph it. That's a great idea. We will rebuild the great storm of 2023. All right. Will, pick a number between 1 and 100.
23.
Scott?
I'm going with 76.
Good choice. Mike?
60.
David?
37.
Always wonder about these numbers. Steve?
Has to be 42.
42.
Got some Douglas Adams fans. Good.
Go. Rob?
That'll be my last ship hull number, 92.
Okay. And Stuart?
My age, 66.
Okay. All right. So I've got a random number generator here set for 1 to 100. Let's see what happens. Rob is our winner. It's 96. And you chose 92.
Holy cow.
What size t-shirts for you? Just in case you get a t-shirt. Who knows?
Large is great.
Awesome.
Large or extra large, either works.
Either one works. Well, congratulations. And thank you guys so much for hanging out. It's always great to get together.
So question for you.
Yes.
I thought moving it to Fridays was so that we could get some of the co-hosts to join in. And yet I think I've seen one co-host once and another co-host once ever.
Yes. So I need to, Bill's schedule changed and he is now he got a promotion of some sort. So he works weekends now. So I need to figure out and Saturdays should work until volleyball kicks in again in the fall. So we'll probably try to get some of these on the weekend now that I'm not going to volleyball stuff every weekend. And I don't know what Pastor's excuse is, and I'm going to have to shake the tree in Colorado to find out about Mia.
Yeah, they only work once a week. I mean, come on.
Really? I mean, seriously, he only has to write one sermon. Do that on Saturday. That's what Saturdays are for. Right, Stuart?
That's what the week is for. Or the 2 weeks. There is a guy in Nebraska. He had his sermons prepared 6 months in advance.
Oh, wow.
And the last minute he would add things in, I guess, but he was very organized. Definitely not me.
Have you ever heard how fast Pastor Fisk does his sermons?
No, but I imagine considering he seems like he is like ADHD.
He actually writes them the week before and then records it and listens to it all week long so that he can more recite it from memory rather than reading it.
Oh.
He says he does it to help maintain eye contact on his congregation.
I like
That's what Walter A. Meyer III did. He had them memorized.
I like it. Okay. Well, next week we're going to be you'll see the pastor. I think we're going to do another Clinging to God and Guns video, and we'll Fisk a video. I won't try to describe it. That I ran across from Central Kansas Seminary, I think, something like that. It's Baptist. And it's a 3-week, they did a couple of months ago, they did a 3-week Zoom call symposium on Christianity and gun violence. And it's interesting in that the first, I've only watched the first one, it's all I could stomach. I got to give the guy who was the presenter for the first week some props because he did at least try to do some research. So he went out to a local gun store, and part of his commentary is on the fact that they play like praise music and they've got lots of Christian themed items going on in the range, and they are very much, so he's trying to grapple with the idea of the firearms faith and freedom thing, although he doesn't use my exact wording. I would have to stick my lawyers on him. But he does talk a lot about that and how alien that whole thing is. And he ends up he actually does go to a gun store and tries to buy a gun because he wants to talk about the process of what goes into buying a gun. But in his presentation, he doesn't actually explain the process. So it's a little bit strange, and he ends up turning the gun into a piece of art. So it's weird. So that's what we're going to be fisking next week. So it should be fun.
You should also think about doing the Sparkle Creed.
Oh God, the Sparkle Creed.
You haven't seen that?
I just threw up in my mouth a little.
It's
I was
the
going to
newest.
say, yeah.
It's the newest creed from the ELCA.
I heard about that.
It's a must watch.
Okay, now I'm doing a YouTube search.
If you can do it without stabbing yourself in the eye.
Just don't do it after you eat.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh my Lord. Okay. I've got a note.
Nothing will surprise me.
No.
I was going to say, if he wants to experience buying a gun, I've got an old Rome revolver.
Okay.
Scott, I thought that'd get a laugh.
Yes, that one needs to be turned into a piece of art.
Well, the funny thing is he tells this story about how he's looking for a gun. He doesn't explain why he's doing it, right? Or at least I don't think he told the pawn shop owner why. And the guy then proceeds to try to sell him one of his own guns that he had bought for his wife, but doesn't work. So he buys a junk gun and turns it into art. And so I don't know how this works, because what exactly he did, because he doesn't go through and explain. Because at the beginning, he's laying everything out. He goes through this big, all right, here's what we're going to talk about. And here's what I was trying to accomplish, blah, 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 blah. And when he gets to the gun purchasing part, he wants to understand the process and the laws and all the stuff that it takes to go and buy a gun, because having never done it, he doesn't know. And the way he makes it sound is the guy just is like, hey, this gun doesn't work. You want it? And then he ends up buying it for practically nothing. But he never explains any of the process at all. And why he was dumb enough to buy a gun that doesn't work from a pawn
Well, if you're going to
shop.
turn it into art, doesn't matter.
I guess so. But I'm curious. I mean, the gun's not deactivated. So did he go through a 4473? Did he break the law in buying the stupid gun that was broken? These are questions, and there's no comments on the video either. So they've turned off comments naturally. So that's as much as we find out. So maybe he explains it in video 2, which I just couldn't stomach yet. So anyway, so
Post a link to that, would you?
Do what? The link.
Post a link to that, would you? Those videos.
And then forward it to the ATF and make his life really interesting.
So basically, what
if the ATF won't go after all those people cutting up their AR-15s by cutting the barrels off of them and turning them into short-barreled rifles, what makes you think they'll go after this guy?
So
because he's
basically,
Christian.
what you basically described was Hunter Biden going in and buying a gun and gluing it to a canvas and selling it for $600,000 and calling it art.
You know what we ought to do? We ought to, just for funsies, maybe we'll do this for the July Hangout. Maybe we'll do a Fisk session where you guys can join in with me and Pastor Bennett. Oh, dear Lord.
I just looked that up. I was just watching that. Oh, my goodness.
I don't have to listen to it. Well, one, they got a woman, a transvestite woman, because she's acting as a man, so she's a transvestite, and so.
Well, let me see. Let me send out it.
Yeah.
How do I do the chat?
Sparkle Creed. Just look it up.
I just put a link to an article, and then a second link is to an image with the text on it, and it's heretical.
Yeah.
Oh, no doubt. It's
right,
from the Elka.
There's the link to the video that we're going to Fisk, so you'll be prepared for what we're getting into. It's called Reflections and Conversations About American Christianity and Gun Violence.
Oh, just by looking at some of their pictures, I can tell you that's not going to go well.
Yeah. It's going to be a laugh riot.
Today
today in the work.
So we'll maybe in a future online hangout, we'll fisk one and you guys can all chime in. We'll just go through it together. That might be fun.
Yeah.
Might be awful, but I think it'll be fun for us. So
no, I think it'll take your show to a whole new level.
Well, considering the video is nearly an hour, you might consider taking a few snippets and saying, all right, from 5 minutes 2 seconds to 5 minutes 45 seconds. Let's look at that.
Yeah, normally what we do when we fisk these things, we don't normally go through the whole thing. We usually, both of us watch it and we make notes and timestamps so that we know where we want to cut the thing so we can go. And because there's some of it that's a lot of the beginning where he's just going through, here's what the process, this is kind of the it's almost like he's laying out, this is my course syllabus. He's defining bullet points. I think the screen cap at the beginning has like bullet points that's from his presentation. So he goes through that first, but then he goes through each of those bullet points. And so it's not quite as long and there's not as much. The whole 54 minutes is not like worth commenting on, but there are some interesting points that I think will be definitely worth chewing over, and that's what we'll be doing next week. And maybe we'll invite you all in for session 2 or session 3, whatever. There's bound to be.
You could turn this into a whole new segment, Armed Lutherans Review.
Exactly. Yep. So yeah,
we'll pick out the hot topic of the month, and as a group, we'll review it.
Yeah, that's a good idea. So I think what I'll do for when I'll pick a maybe for next month's hangout, I'll pick the video that we're going to do. I'll send you all the link, and then you can pre-screen it, and you can pick your points in the video that you would like to comment on or that you thought were interesting, and we'll all compare notes when we get back together. And maybe that'll be we'll do an abbreviated round the horn, see what everybody's drinking, and then get right into the festivities, because I have a feeling we'll be needing some drink by the time we get through it.
I'm thinking this is going to take your show to a whole new level.
I think it will. I don't know whether it's a good level or a bad one, but it'll be interesting. And I'll bring something stronger than this. All right. Thank you guys for hanging out. This has been fun as always. And I pray that I don't have any other part of my house ripped off or another ailment between now and then. And so we won't have to reschedule or fool around with the date. So, but let's see, July. What does July look like? I think I'm pretty much don't have anything volleyball or work scheduled for July, so I think we'll be good. And I'll see if I can get figure out a good date to get or day of the week to get Sergeant Bill in with us too. All right, guys, Christ's blessings to all of you. Really appreciate your support and always look forward to hanging out with you. Cheers. Have a great night. We'll talk to you next time.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Cheers and God bless.
Take care.
Take care.
Take care.
For show notes, be sure to visit our website at www.armedlutheran.us. Check out the Facebook page, The Armed Lutheran, or join our Facebook group, Fans of Armed Lutheran Radio. If you like what you hear, please leave us a comment on our feedback page at armedlutheran.us/feedback or a review on iTunes and let us know what you think. Thank you for listening to Armed Lutheran Radio, a member of the Self-Defense Radio Network.